Hello friends, today we begin with the basics of paraphrasing. But paraphrasing is something which we do almost every day. Whenever we are engaged in a conversation with our friends and reporting somebody else's conversation, we indulge in paraphrasing. Now when we are trying to learn the basics of paraphrasing, you must remember that it's a very hard skill to master, and that's why it's very important. Because if somebody doesn't learn how to paraphrase well, he may end up into being a very poor writer and may also even resort to plagiarism, that is copying somebody else's text, which is not at all a good thing. That's why paraphrasing is so very important in daily life. We begin with the 4 R's of paraphrasing. The first is reword. Rewording means you replace words and phrases with synonyms whenever you can. Now what do you mean by synonyms? Synonyms are words with similar meanings. For example, if the word is difficult, sometimes you use hard. Sometimes you may also use antonyms to make the sense clear. For example, if the word is difficult, you may use not easy. Second is rearrange. You rearrange words within sentences to make new sentences. You can even rearrange the ideas presented within the paragraph. Then you realize that some words and phrases cannot be changed. For example, names, dates, titles, statistics. Now these are data which cannot be replaced. So you can present them differently in your paraphrasing. Finally, recheck. That is, you ensure that your paraphrase conveys the same meaning as the original text. You just follow these slides one by one. The first one is on reword, which reads the original information and develops synonyms that can be used to take the place of words in the original work. Now, in this context, you may also use a dictionary or an online or digital thesaurus to begin the process of paraphrasing. Second slide, it deals with rearrange. The students here, you move words around to get the same general idea without using the exact wording of the original author. Whenever you are writing a précis, there also you do the same thing. You do not use words in the original in your précis or in your summary. Typically, it makes sense for the rearranged phrase to come after the reword phrase because it creates a flow that makes sense for the reader. Next is you realize that some parts, which I just said before, cannot be changed, such as a name or a data or a statistic or a date. Now here, there is no need to use quotation marks whenever you are inserting the dates or the names. As long as a statistic or the date is cited correctly, there is no need to use quotation marks or treat the information as a quote from the original work, because in this sense, of course, it is almost taken for granted that the names will be kept as they are. In the final process of paraphrasing, you recheck. That is, you read the paraphrased work to ensure that it makes sense. So here you can follow 2 steps. First, you read them aloud. Reading aloud, it sometimes provides valuable insight into the flow of the text. In some other cases, you may invite your friends and make them sit in front of you, and you just place your ideas to them, and they will check whether the things have been changed or the things have been distorted in one way or the other. So that actually serves as a way to ensure that you have entered the right track of paraphrasing. Next, paraphrase it. I just put it in a different context. You put the text in your own words. Avoid copying the text. Rearrange similar text. And finally, what I just said, recheck. You ask yourself if you have included all the important points. Let me give an example. You just follow this particular slide, which deals with paraphrasing. You look at the original text. It deals with an information about Nauru, one of the smallest countries in the world. Now you follow how the paraphrasing has been done. What is the most important topic in the original text? The island Nauru. So Nauru is a Pacific island country that is only 8.5 square miles in area. So we are not changing any information. Nauru is the name of the island. Pacific, of course, is the ocean. And the statistic is that it is 8.5 square miles in area. So we are not changing those statistics or those names. Now I am just rearranging them. It is one of the smallest countries on the planet, and only about 10,000 people live there. And finally, what was the important topic of the paraphrasing? Nauru has mined its once plentiful supply of phosphate. This has damaged the environment on the island. So every particular information has been conveyed. Some words have been replaced, but the idea has remained the same. The next example, when we go to the zoo, we may see penguins if the exhibit is open. Now how do I paraphrase it? If the penguin house is open, so we are just changing the names here. We may be able to observe the birds on our visit to the zoo. So you replace some words to make the meaning much clearer, but the meaning should be intact. There should be no distortion in the meaning. The next one, many people reported symptoms of anxiety after the terrorist attack. Now this sentence has been paraphrased as, the terrorist attack, which was at the end, it has been brought to the first. The terrorist attack caused anxiety symptoms. So in the original text, you had symptoms of anxiety. Now we have used anxiety symptoms in a number of people. The word was many people in the original text. We have just changed it to in a number of people. So read it once again. Many people reported symptoms of anxiety after the terrorist attack. Now we paraphrase it in this particular way. The terrorist attack caused anxiety symptoms in a number of people. So keeping those 4 R's intact, first, some words have been reworded. We have realized that we cannot change the statistics or the date or the names. And finally, we have rearranged the ideas. One idea comes at the end, the idea which is at the end, it comes at the front. So anyway, but the meaning should be clear. And most importantly, you recheck that everything has been kept in order. So these are the basis of paraphrasing, which I believe will help you to paraphrase many more texts when you're dealing with them. Thank you.
Wow.